Well, I suppose there comes a time when everything just goes wrong, and so it is. Um, I've tried various solutions, but everything seems to end up in nothing. And the news is so depressing. Nobody seems to get it. And there is a, a subset of Ishmaelites in this country, and these are wealthy young men who disdain our people. Not every Ishmaelite is created equal, but I suspect that there is a subset of people who come over here, and you can see them because they're dressed so well with branded sports clothing, and they drive Lamborghinis and top of the range BMWs and Mercedes, and they're just not. They don't have jobs. They just hang out. And I wonder whether these young men are brought into this country with the promise of young girls that they can share with their our political masters. The wickedness in this country can only really be imagined because it's always concealed. And the only thing that can reveal it is the Word of God, and yet the Word of God, and so I guess the Word of God is hated, absolutely hated. Um, you can't mention it without attracting ridicule. People will refuse, absolutely flatly refuse, to open the Holy Bible. It is of no account to them, and rather more, they see it as being the source of all wickedness, you would say. It's a spiritual disconnection. And even in the church, it's the same. I can't find any solidarity there. I went on Sunday and there was a woman preacher. I'm not going to sit and listen to some feminist who probably hasn't even read the Bible, drawing lessons in morality according to her understanding of the world, and lecturing a church full of obedient and humble people, and not reading from the Bible, just giving her opinions. I won't step into the church. I sat in the foyer for a while and listened to her drone on, but I refused to go in. And next week also is another woman taking the service. How people can think that that's a suitable way of praising God by completely disregarding the essence of his teachings from the get-go, and then trying to build up a kind of morality based on social justice and equality and equality of opportunity and all this nonsense. Many people interpret the Bible in terms of morality, but morality, the word morality comes from mores, which means customs. the Moors. It's just a customary way of behaving. It's a social organization, really. The biblical message doesn't concern these matters at all. It concerns the law of God. Quite a different matter to modern understandings of morality and ethics, which people like to parade. So I'm downhearted. I don't like to be downhearted. I prefer to be more on an even keel, but it's come to the point now where I just don't have any, I've got nothing left. I still read the Bible from time to time, but my work has dried up. My attempt at healing through carnivore has failed because it was making me ill. My attempt to move up to the north of England has failed because I was in financial difficulty and the buyer of my house pulled out. My attempt to form a liaison with my daughter, who is a very anti-Bible person, failed completely. She just challenged me. If I don't read the Bible, so what are you going to do about it? What can I do? Nothing. She won't open it. She's avowed that she won't open it. Another failure. I've just got to rock bottom, I think, over the past few months. And now I guess I need to draft another plan, but all the plans have come to naught, so I'm reluctant to do it. I had a woman come around to my house yesterday who was keen to buy it. I was informed of her by one of my neighbours. She's an Ishmaelite, nice enough person. I've got plenty of money, she told me. And she referred to God as that God would sort this thing out, and she felt that there may be some spiritual preference for her to move here. I think for her mother and father was her main concern. I don't know whether I can manage the thought of another move at the moment. It's just the amount of work that's involved. And I have very little inclination to do anything. I'm attempting to do my accounts, and that's difficult enough. I have no work. My translation service is apparently no longer required after 30 years. But it's probably not just me. I think it's many of my colleagues now. The work has just gone. And it leaves me just feeling quite bitter and alone. I don't know what the future holds, but I don't seem to have any enthusiasm for it. If God would just show a sign, if the Lord would blow a trumpet and give us succor, those of us who love his words and his teachings, to show that we will be redeemed and that the times will change. And I've tried to place so much trust in that. But the reality is that things just go on at the moment. and seem to get worse, and the hostility shown towards our people by everybody is unabated, and if anything, it's intensifying. I don't know what the answer is, so it's probably pointless making a video about it, but just to share the way that I'm feeling, and perhaps I'm not alone. God bless.